In a world that's rapidly shifting gears towards automation, electric motors, and silent drives, there are still a few who hold on to the pure essence of driving. Siddharth Shankar is one of them. His heart beats for a machine that refuses to bow to the norms. A Fiat Punto Abarth 1.4 T-Jet, a fiery soul wrapped in a timeless hatchback. This is no ordinary car. It's a statement of rebellion against the mundane. With its turbocharged engine, a manual shifter that demands precision, and a roar that echoes passion, it's a reminder of why we fell in love with cars in the first place. For Siddharth, this Abarth is more than just a car. It's a part of his soul, a bridge between engineering and emotion. Because sometimes it's not about where you're going, it's about how you get there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shankar, for the conversation today.
Most welcome, Mr. Gupta.
So, tell me one thing that, it's very clear that you're obsessed with Fiat cars.
Yes.
You have a Punto in your garage, Abarth Punto, not
Yes.
just a Punto,
Yeah.
and you have a Palio, but today we'll talk only about the Punto.
Yes.
So, tell me a little bit about this machine, as in what really about it fascinated you?
There was always an itch to get a powerful manual transmission car because it's the last of its kind, as you can see. And this country, it is, it is defined by a lot of regulations which doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Firstly, you have to have 1.2 liter engine, and then you have to have a sub 4 meter rule.
Okay.
So you pay about 12% excise duty on these cars. If you don't have that, you have to pay 25% basic excise duty. So that 13% price difference, that is what bites the manufacturers a lot, right?
Okay.
Now, if I go to the history of affordable performance cars, Fiat is the only company that has given some obviously unforgettable cars, but then they have been forgotten by the market. Now that is more to do with the brand and its perception than the product.
Okay.
So like I also have a Palio, so with the Palio 1.6, so that is the first big engine, I would say a raw hot hatch that came into the country. So I have that. And then after about almost 14 years or so, Fiat gave the Abarth Punto. Now this is technically a very different car from what you have seen in the Europe or what you have seen in the other parts of the world.
Okay.
India was technically the last country to get something which was badged as an Abarth on the vehicle based on the Punto. Okay. Now India is a very unique market. If I take you to some specific projects that happen, this was also a part of the project.
Like
so,
what?
The project means that time the MD of Fiat was Kevin Flynn. So Kevin Flynn had conceptualized this project for the Indian market. So this car basically has got different parts from different versions. And for Indian market, they had made a bespoke version. Which had to be priced below 10 lakh rupees.
Because of the taxation?
Because of the taxation, because of the cost to performance ratio, because of the public, they wanted to give public something like a successor to the Palio.
Okay.
And the market was beginning to open up. The Polo GT, 2013 was when the Polo GT came in. So the GT is technically not a hot hatch, but then it was a fast car on the straight line, which had a quick DSG gearbox and a 1.2 liter gasoline direct injection engine, the TSI. So that actually gave momentum to faster versions of regular hatches. Those times you had a 1.2 liter NA petrol or a 1.5 liter diesel. So diesel was more towards the economy minded or for the torque minded. Perhaps Ford only attempted, but then Ford came in with the Figo S sometime in 2017. So 2 years after this. So basically what happened in 2015 beginning, I was out of town, so I was in between my work. And then Horma Sorabji in one of the autocar videos on TV said that Fiat is considering expanding the T-Jet engine range in the country with the Punto and the Aventura.
Okay.
So that is when I realized that something big would be coming. And then it is time to, whenever this car comes, at the right time, you have to have this. Now there are two things. Pan India, only 357 were manufactured.
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
This includes your demo cars, your cars to the media. There were about there were 3 pre-production prototypes.
Okay.
Out of which 2 of them were even in matte grey,
Okay.
and 1 was in black.
Okay.
So this car came in the August of 2015, where we had a preview in BIC.
Okay.
So Fiat launched the Abarth 595 Competizione, and that launch was overshadowed by this car.
Oh.
So Fiat got in a surprise. Before that, obviously, they had a mule with a Punto 90 HP with a
Yes.
T-jet engine.
Correct. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I heard it right. You're saying 595 का launch था
Yes.
and Punto Abarth के launch ने उसको overshadow कर दिया.
Punto Abarth was unveiled at that time.
Okay.
Yes, so that overshadowed it. And see, that car was costing 29.85 lakhs anyway, the 595 Competizione. So this was a bigger surprise. Before that, already we have seen multitude of spy shots. Like when I was in Himachal, sometime in June, I remember, I caught 2 prototypes of this car in white, just opposite my hotel.
Okay.
And then my excitement started to, go into cloud 9, whatever it is called, cloud 9. And then I saw this car thoroughly. Obviously some quirks were there, like 5-speed gearbox and the wheels from the Scorpion design, the what is used internationally. Now by the time this car was launched, the Punto Abarth in Europe was discontinued. So that was discontinued in 2013.
Okay.
So this was probably the last market to get an Abarth badged Punto. So quite a lot of things are different in this car than what you see in Europe.
Okay.
Now firstly, the platform is totally different. The European version had a Grande Punto from 2007 to 2010, which had the T-jet engine, the same engine which this car has.
Okay.
And then from 2010 to 2013, there was the Punto Evo Abarth.
Okay.
So that had the multi-air engine. So
The one in Europe.
yes.
Okay.
So that had your normal version, and then you have the SSE package. So that had the 180 HP.
तो उसमें engine कौन सा 1.4 ही था लेकिन.
Both of them were 1368cc, same block but different internals.
Okay.
One had a cam, one had a camless gear. Right. So the Grande Punto had 155 HP version, and then it also had a 165 HP version. So these 2 versions were there in Europe.
Okay.
And then in South America, there was another 5-door Punto. It was just called as a Punto T-Jet.
Okay.
So that car had the body shell of the European Abarth on a 5-door with all those wide flared fenders, flared bumpers, sunroof. But it was only badged as a Punto T-Jet. The same wheels were there as my car has.
That reminds me, Abarth, I think in Europe it's a 3-door, right?
Yes.
For Indian market they made it a 5-door.
Yes.
Okay.
So for Indian market, they took a Punto Evo body shell and plonked a T-Jet engine with a VL38 turbocharger. So it was a similar turbo that was on the Grande Punto Abarth.
Okay.
The higher powered 165 HP version. And there were speculations that this engine would make something around 133 HP.
Okay.
When it was being tested. So final calibration was this car is making 145 HP. So on the dyno as per Fiat. So obviously, whenever Fiat launches something in ages, the press goes mad, the social media goes mad, but it doesn't guarantee you that it will be a success in the market. And there are many reasons to it.
Okay.
Firstly, since I'm owning, this is my 6th and probably the last Fiat, because Fiat doesn't exist.
Okay.
I had owned 2 diesel Puntos and a couple of Padminis and obviously the Palio. Now the reason to own this vehicle has been very simple. Just I want to have a car which is very fast and very fast. Now this car is
to put some numbers on it, like after the remap and after the entire set of upgrades. I'll talk about the upgrades later. What is your current 0 to 100?
So if I measure it correctly, 6.7, 6.8, 6.7, 6.8 is what can do. Obviously it needs to be launched properly.
With a manual gear shift.
With a manual gear shift. And of course, the person should know how to launch it.
Of course.
Like, number 1. Number 2, this makes about 185 HP and 300 Nm, close to 300 Nm, close to 185 HP. And number 3, this is still a raw car to drive. So there is no electric steering. There is
It's
no.
all hydraulic.
It's all hydraulic. There is
Okay.
no ESP.
Hydraulic as in electronically assisted
It is
hydraulic.
totally hydraulic. There's nothing electric in. There's no electric motor. This is
Okay.
completely driven by hydraulic fluid.
So this feels like that old school heavy steering which we used to have back
But then
in the
this
day.
is speed sensitive steering also,
Okay.
right? And then there is no electric stability program.
Okay.
There is no traction control in this. So you have to be, you have to be careful while launching. Now stock car in this, obviously when you launch it, it creates a very bad wheel spin.
Okay.
Company said the steering is not for holding, it's for holding on.
Okay.
In the ad. Obviously the ad was very corny, I would say. They were
Okay.
just drifting and doing, don't know what they were doing.
Huh.
So then when I drove this car, in fact we were given a ride in BIC. Then I took one lap in BIC on the prototype.
Huh.
The pull that this engine gave, the torque
Yeah.
delivery, so that was insane. It was undergoing final tweaks. And then when it was launched, I took a test drive. In fact, I had the media car with me for about 3 days. And then me and 2-3 more friends of mine. So we took it to India Gate, we took it to Greater Noida, we took it to BIC ke paas wala, that area. We did a lot of those power slides and lot of wheel spins. We almost finished the tires of that vehicle. And वो रात में भी another friend इतने उसने टायर स्पिन्स किया, मतलब almost we were smoking out of the tires.
Huh.
And that was a very hooligan. So this is a proper hooligan you can get.
Okay.
4-cylinder.
Huh.
There is no gasoline direct injection. There is no variable valve timing. So very simple 1993 origin T-Jet engine. So just has a turbo bolted onto a MPI tech, and then it has cast iron block, right? Not aluminium. Big disadvantage when
That's
it,
surprising. A cast iron block. I mean,
Yes.
normally in cars like this, you usually get aluminum or aluminum alloy block.
yes, the head is alloy,
Okay.
the block is CI. So CI does have its inherent advantages, like you can do builds up to 400 HP like people have done in most parts of Europe.
With this machine.
In this block,
Wow.
in the
Okay.
T-Jet block.
Why are you still under 200?
You have to change the turbocharger, injectors, oil return lines.
Plus, I think it's a front wheel drive, so that's another
yeah.
limitation then.
See, in many parts of this country, there are already stage 3 setups running, like 257, 260 HP, that is common.
Oh, wow.
Like out of 357 cars, about 20-25 cars must be having this. In North India, there is only one car that is having this setup. So you
And
have...
that is yours.
No, not mine.
You're talking
Mine
about
is
stage 3.
Stage
Okay.
3, yes.
Okay.
So that is my friend's car. So that is having a Mitsubishi TD04 turbo.
Okay.
And this is running a basic simple IHI turbo, IHI BL38.
Okay.
And there is in between another turbo upgrade, that is GT1446 Garrett, the same turbo that is in the Compass Petrol.
Okay.
So technically GT1446 is stage 2.5
Okay.
and TD04 is stage 3.
Okay.
Upgrades are almost the same, so you can make up to 230 odd horsepower in Indian conditions on the GT and to 260 on the TD04.
Okay.
But then there is also a question of turbo lag. So one is a bigger turbo, one is an even bigger turbo. So bigger turbo means more lag. So TD04 under 2000 RPM is dead.
Correct.
And then after that it goes like a bat out of hell with its tail on fire. and then there is the GT1446, so that can solve most of your everyday's midlife crisis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But so
now,
one question on this one, like we spoke, I mean, I think you answered a lot many questions which I was about to ask.
Yeah.
But simply put, why, I mean, for the viewers actually, why the Punto Abarth and why not the Polo GT TSI?
there are a lot of reasons to it. The base platform of this car is more robust.
Really?
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, dual cam engine.
Huh.
That had a single cam engine.
Huh.
Number three, most important part is this.
Manual shifter. Okay.
You cannot beat a manual at any cost.
And Volkswagen, they never gave an option, the GT TSI,
No.
of a manual shifter.
That was a 7-speed dual clutch automatic.
Huh.
And then again, that was a commuter car. That is not a sports hatchback. That is a commuter car with a bomb engine. This is a proper sports hatchback which even has rear disc brakes.
What's a bomb engine? I'm sorry.
Bomb engine means for that time the 1.2 E8 111 Polo's engine. That was a very fast car. So Palio did 11.19 0 to 100. After about 11 or 12 years, that car broke the Palio's record. The Polo TSI, GT TSI 1.2.
Okay.
So that did 0 to 100 in some under 11 seconds.
Okay.
It was very fast. And obviously the 7-speed dual clutch was a very big thing for 2013.
But tell me one thing, you're saying, so before the Polo GT TSI, Palio 0 to 100 was the fastest?
Yes.
What about the Volkswagen Polo 1.6 that came into picture?
That was slower than the Palio.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that was faster.
slower. 11.1 was the Palio. The Polo did 11.8. 11.8 something. Fabia 1.6 was also there, so that was some 12ish. Then there was a Corsa Sail 1.6 that did 12.2. So these three were the ones with the 1.6 engines.
There was a Fiesta 1.6S also.
That was a sedan, so we are technically comparing a hatchback to a hatchback.
Correct. Got it.
Because with a 1.6 engine, there were a lot of sedans, so that is that's a different segment altogether.
Understood. Okay. So walk me through the upgrades that you've done on your car, step by step.
I need to show you because quite a lot of things I've done.
No, so what we'll do is you just start telling me, and what we'll be doing is we'll be shooting each and every part of your car later on. So I'll keep it at the back. I'll keep it for viewing later on.
So basically the builds, I bought this car with the prime reason, number one, to build it.
Okay.
And number two, to build it properly.
Okay.
A car build is not something that you do it once and then start getting bored out of it, right?
Correct.
This is not a car to sell. Let me be very frank. This is a car to cherish for life. Or till whenever you can cherish it. Rather, I would say all these categories of hatchbacks, whether it's this or whether it's the 1 liter Polo TSI, whether it's the i20 N-Line, whether it's the Altroz Razor, whether it's the Tiago JTP or the Figo S or the Baleno RS, all these warmed up, souped up hatches that came and went. Graveyards full of them. Tiago JTP is there. Most successful has been, I think, the i20 N-Line because the Polo did sell, but then the Polo is now discontinued.
Okay.
And then the Polo had a GTI also with the biggest engine, 1.8 liter and 7-speed DSG. So that was a 200 unit import. Now these cars are there because some honchos in OEMs, they fight cost cutting bean counters and they tell we should cater to certain enthusiasts who can afford to buy it and afford to enjoy the performance potential of this platform. In a market where you have all these SUVs and crossovers and ugly looking dog shit cars that are coming in the name of sub 4 meter rule. So these cars you will not find much on the roads, whatever the limited numbers are there. So it's a very interesting story on how I got this car, right? I had a Punto Evo diesel before that for under 2 years, so I had to get that car because the another Punto which I had that was starting to show its age after the cross country drive I did. That time this car was costing on road 11.4.
Okay.
But I would not say expensive because the engine itself was worth 13% more excise duty.
Correct.
Then what happens? 2018 second half, festive season. All of a sudden, the car's fire sale starts.
Okay.
Because anticipation of BS6, diesel cars popularity going down, price difference between petrol and diesel that time was only 6 rupees. Can you imagine?
Okay.
In the Navratras of 2018. And then I had only driven some 34,000 kilometers in under 2 years in the diesel Punto. Right. And then I had the Palio that time I got it. So there are 2 cars in the house. Running has to reduce.
Yeah.
Then it is a but obvious fact when I'm getting an SMS on my mobile, Abarth Punto, India's most powerful hatchback, 2 lakh rupees, 2.4 lakh rupees off the on-road price. So that was the SMS I got.
So you got it for 9.
Exact 9. Within, I was in my office that day. Next day, I came back, I called up my sales guy and just told them, you send someone to my house and rather I'll be coming, because I didn't tell anyone in the house that I'm getting this car. So I I asked him to send someone to my house. So one of his guys comes to my house. I just tell him, this is the key of my diesel Punto, just take the car with you. Take the car with you. Okay. Because the insurance of the car was also due to be renewed after a week. And then I just called up the salesperson. So I told him, I'm sending my car. You take this car and take the payment, whatever you can from the amount, and then the balance amount I'll pay. So he was like baffled. And then he was baffled, right? तो ये कह रहा था कि ये कर क्या रहा हूँ? मैंने कहा जो है वही है. जिंदगी भर जीनी हमने. Then he said कि white नहीं मिलेगा, black मिलेगा, मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता. जो गाड़ी है फैक्ट्री से मंगाओ फटाफट. So they were making some 10 cars in the month of October. So this is one of those 10 cars, right? 10 गाड़ियाँ बनाई थी, all in black. Then एक हफ्ता I kept on negotiating for the resale price, this that क्या डालना है क्या नहीं डालना है and all that. So we made a good deal in the showroom, and then this car came in and I took this car. Right. So that's how it happened. So 9 on road, you're getting a manual car with 145 HP.
And you sold the other one for how much? The Grande Punto?
Grand Punto, and it was a Punto Evo. So that
Punto
was
Evo.
Some shade above 5.8, 5.9.
Oh. So basically you ended up just paying about 3.25 lakhs over and above.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's virtually nothing, right?
So now I want to know more about the upgrades in detail.
So the build started in the Christmas of 2018 because when I posted this car on Facebook, so Arush of Autopsych, he had written it doesn't look stock, because I already had installed the airbag springs before delivery from the showroom. I got the airbag springs from him only before when I had in the diesel Punto. So airbag springs were installed, and then I took the delivery. The showroom people were baffled. The sales guy was saying, why is this car looking so down?
So the same springs you had you used for this car?
It is still there. It is still there.
Okay.
Right. So that talks about the reliability and the quality of these springs.
Okay.
Almost 7+ years. So I'm still running them.
Naturally.
And then I started to speak to Arush about what can be done to this. Then I myself started to research, look at different websites, and see what all I can do over a period of slowly coming years. Not just build everything and then get bored and then see this and see that, and like what most Polo owners do, keep on changing suspensions or brakes and then sell the car. I didn't plan that. I had to do very slowly. Now this car's biggest problem is the size of the stock intercooler, which is way too small for the amount of power this car makes. Right. So if you drive this car in summer, because of the cost cutting scene, 9 lakh रुपए आप दे रहे हो, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ cost cutting होगा, be it in the cosmetics or in the engineering. So quite a lot of drawbacks this car does have, right? So intercooler upgrade was the first thing I had to do.
Okay.
So almost a month, November 27th I got the car. So did it exact on December 25th, Christmas. So Forge Motorsports had sent some intercoolers to Autopsych.
Okay.
And then I fixed up an appointment, and then that day we fixed up the intercooler and the blow-off valve.
Oh, okay.
On that very same day. Right. So obviously mota kharcha aaya tha. I had asked for some discount which he gave. And then when I posted the photo on Facebook, there some people were beginning to get baffled. Ho kya raha hai gaadi mein? Because Abarth, उस समय people were starting to only do builds. अब क्या है ना, 2 साल पहले जब like 2022 तब जाके मेन स्ट्रीम बिल्ड्स हुई हैं इस गाड़ी में. बट आई एंड सम पीपल स्टार्टेड वे बैक इन 2018, 2017, 2018, राइट. नॉर्थ में तो खासकर इतना कोई अवेयरनेस था ही नहीं इसको लेकर के. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट slowly started to upgrade the brake, suspension,
Okay.
and obviously the filter intake.
Turbo is stock.
Turbo is stock.
It's just tuned.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first I did a quantum map on this car from Akshay for about almost 2-3 years के आसपास. Then I tested some vehicles on Wolf, so I had to switch to Wolf.
Okay.
So it was Wolf stage 1 first. So in the meantime, the 2 years of COVID that happened, I didn't do anything. Then after that, lot of things I began to import, and if you see these accessories that are here in the car, this light and this, all of these are bespoke. You will not find any other Abarth Punto with these things.
Okay.
They are all imported.
Okay.
So next thing I added was the intake kit, forge intake kit, made for this car, globally used by people, and so this is a very old product. Forge kit was launched in 2008 in Europe.
Okay.
They're making the same kit even today.
Okay.
So this is compatible with this engine, and this improves the bottom end performance with better breathing abilities. And since the heat shield is above the filter, the filter is not that much visible. So the problem of heat trapping or dust, that is minimum.
Okay.
Plus it's a dry cotton air filter, so you can just wash it and drive it. Right.
Okay.
This was the first dry cotton air filter, maintenance free. Nothing much is required in this. And then after that, I added IBAC spacers 15 millimeters around just to get a better track, better stability. Pilot Sport 4 tires obviously came in that time also. And most important, from N1 Racing Bombay, I had ordered the subframe brace. So there are 2 subframe braces at the bottom of this vehicle. So they are Forge Motorsport braces. So they are made of steel, and they prevent, see, when you do hard cornering in this vehicle, I don't do much these days, I used to a long time back. The frame, it keeps on flexing.
Got it. Just to increase the rigidity of the frame in those situations.
And to control the alignment also. This car is known to have issues with wheel alignment.
Okay.
Because you have got too much of power on the front wheels. Plus it's a heavy engine, it's not a light engine.
Right.
So it overhauls the chassis. I mean, the stock car is also 30 millimeters lifted. So plus there are people who are still running those 195 size tires, I don't know for what reason. So that overwhelms the car a lot.
Okay.
So these things are required to keep it planted. This, if you drive a stock Abarth even on the track, it will constantly lose traction and it will lose on the track time. So it is not really a great car for that track. Let me be
because of the front being heavy.
Front being heavy and heavy steering.
Heavy steering.
On a perfect driver or somebody who knows, who's a pro, he can take out good times. But there are better cars than this which can outrun.
Sure.
Let us be very frank about it. Quicker steering cars or cars with shorter wheelbase or lightweight. Because this car weighs about 130 odd kilos also, right?
But nonetheless, I still remember last time when I drove this car, even for a short while, the steering rack is quite aggressive when you're cutting.
Yes.
So it's not like you need to cut the steering too much. It's just a little here and there, and the car is literally diving on the corners.
Yes. Now it will not do.
But that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Now it doesn't do. Because like I told you, better tires, wider track, lowered suspension and the brace. So these things are required to keep this car planted and to make this car drivable daily.
Okay.
Then later about some few months back, I had upgraded the brakes, same size, 282 front, 251 back. So this car has EBC rotors. EBC is slotted and dimpled rotors.
Okay.
And EBC yellow stub pads. Plus I also got the FSD shockers, Koni dampers installed.
Okay.
So this is the list, quite a long list, and then this has the gear throw reducer, 4H Tech gear throw reducer.
Okay.
So
short
normally,
shifter.
just this much it requires. Gear shift is notchy. That's a Punto's Achilles heel. So this reduces it to a bit.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
So that's all I've done. Plus you have this boost gauge.
Yeah.
Shows the boost and the vacuum generation. And nothing else. The lights, audio, they are all stock. So I'm not played much with all these things. They are not required at all.
This is damn interesting, yeah, because I think having a manual gear shifter, 185 horsepower under the bonnet, or should I say at the wheels? I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's at the crank.
At the crank, 185 horses at the crank. Manual gear shifter.
Yeah.
And you paid a total of 9 lakh rupees. That too, additional 3.25 lakhs after selling the previous car.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad deal at all, I think.
Total mods is just almost in the ballpark of an i20 N line. So that much how I spent on the mods, like 4.5 ke aspas ka. So it is not really a bad deal.
It's a damn good deal, I think, for a 185 horsepower car, which literally dives into the corners like.
Yes.
Really
there are still
beautifully,
people who have kept the car stock, not did the build, not maintaining it well. Most important, not maintaining the car well, right? So you find a lot of people, they don't even know what they're driving.
Yeah.
Especially in Delhi NCR. Quite a lot of Abarths will find dents, scratches, being abused, stickers faded. I mean, I don't know what kind of market this car went after they kept on, the ownership kept on changing. There are some well-maintained cars also in South, if you see. So 185 for this, excuse me, 185 for this chassis is a balanced output. So I've not gone mad behind outright power. I only went for a balanced build.
Interesting.
Because I need to drive this car almost every 2 days a week or 3 days a week. Plus, main thing is I get it serviced at the authorized workshop. So the main reliability and daily drive,
it's intact.
That is intact.
Interesting. Thanks a lot for the conversation today. I think it was a great one. And I think the next one is definitely going to be with the Palio, because that, for you, all of you people, you have to look at that car. And literally hats off to this human being sitting right here. The way he maintains his cars, it's I don't think anybody can. And I'm not the only one saying it. Everybody in the car community says that. Take care, and if you like the video, please subscribe on the channel, and for more such videos, let me know what would you like to have a look at in the comment section. Thank you so much.